I'm still really sick, and apologize for that straight off the bat. But I had a conversation with somebody that sort of stopped me cold because I had a revelation that I, on the one hand, it seems like really, really obvious, like duh, obvious, and on the other hand, I think it's an assumption that I've been making, and that maybe a lot of other people have been making. I thought I should talk about it before I sort of forget about it. Which is this, that you have a personality disorder. That does not mean that you have personality flaw. And they're different. I mean, they're radically different. It might feel that way, but it's not. I mean, a personality flaw is somebody who's like a compulsive liar and can't stop lying. I think I'm really shaky too, sorry. Anyway. So I'm holding this thing. So, yeah, it doesn't mean that you have a personality flaw. There's probably nothing wrong with you, like as far as your general personality, if you really stop and think about it. Avoidant personality disorder can affect anybody, any reason whatsoever. I mean, there are extroverted avoidants, and I don't know how they can function. I just don't. I mean, I like to be around people as long as I don't interact with them, like in crowds and stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of people are like really crowd phobic, which there's an official term for that I can't think of right now. But I mean, they really hate to be around crowds. I'm not that. I mean, if I don't like to be around groups of people where I have to interact with them, but to like go down like through a festival or something like that where there's tons of people around, or to like go to a movie by myself, you know, I kind of like that sort of. So I mean, maybe I have a touch of it myself, but I mean, there are true extroverted avoidant people, which in one way is kind of maybe easier because they'll just sort of get around. Anyway, I'm way off track. So like I was saying, yeah, even a personality disorder does not mean that you have personality flaw, and does not mean that there's something about you. I mean, I feel very strongly that I have something in me that pushes people away, just because of my experience is that in when somebody gets to know me, you know, I told them all my stories, generally people give up on me. And I don't think I push them away. I mean, some people I definitely push away, but some people I don't, and they still all 100% get sick of me, find somebody better, etc. But that I can sort of attract somebody in the first place, and that I can sort of keep them around for a little while. You know, generally, usually when I first meet somebody, they way more want to spend time with me than I want to spend time with them. The reason why this came up was I had a conversation with somebody who said, I like you, so you can't have a personality disorder. And I'm like, give me a break. Give me a break. On so many levels. You can't even really address that, because so what? Okay. I mean, again, it doesn't. If I have a personality disorder, I mean that was to a degree, it was a misunderstanding of what a personality disorder is, and I understand that part. You know, that because that's a vernacular, is that, you know, there's something wrong with you. You have a personality disorder, which of course is not what it is at all. So that's like media misimpression. I can kind of get that. But the other part, I mean, it just kind of blows my mind, the arrogance of that. How could somebody think that their opinion of me can dictate if I have a personality disorder, if I'm eligible to have a personality disorder or not? Especially, I mean, decades and decades I've had a personality disorder, you know, and you know, so how many years did I have stuff happening before this person ever showed up? And they think that because they like me, I can't have a personality disorder. I mean, that's sort of ridiculous. That was like, yeah, I'm not able to articulate myself very well. I don't know if anybody has ever ran into that before, because that's nuts. That's nuts. That's extreme self-centered arrogance and narcissism to think that just because somebody likes somebody else, I mean, I'd be like, I like you. You can't have cancer. Because I like you, it's impossible for you to have cancer. Give me a break. But again, I mean, the conversation where I was trying to explain that there's a difference. And again, maybe I'm the only person that ever didn't realize this and that I'm kind of an idiot. That's very, very possible. And again, if you pay the slightest bit of attention to media, I mean, the one that really annoyed me, the one that just absolutely killed me was that Penn State guy that was the pedophile child molester who said he had a personality disorder. It's not his fault that he's, you know, doing this stuff. Oh, that annoyed me. That, I mean, even beyond annoyed me, it completely disgusted me and offended me. That some lawyer, oh, here I go again, sorry. I'm so sorry, but anyway, obviously I shouldn't talk about it. But that somebody would say that, and that's maybe the problem, because that's what you hear. That's the vernacular. To say you have a personality disorder means that you have some major personality character flaw. And that is not true at all. I actually looked them up, and there's like 10 different things, and like one of them is shyness. You know what? I don't think that is a character flaw. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous, because there's so many people that are shy. I mean, how many of our presidents are really good presidents? American, obviously. I mean, we're shy people. How many really excellent human beings that contributed to the society ongoing for their entire life and beyond and after their death? These are shy people. So shyness is not a character flaw. That was the only one that maybe you could say would apply to a personality disorder. Although there's a difference between being shy and having a personality disorder. Because, like I said in my last video I just put out, I can be gregarious. If I'm trying to stick up for somebody else other than me, obviously you're seeing this yourself because you're seeing these videos, then yeah, I can speak up. If it's for somebody else and not me, there are points that I'm not shy. I'm like way not shy. Especially if I'll never see these people again, ever, whoever I'm talking to, and if what I'm doing is going to directly affect somebody and make their life better, then yeah, I can be downright bold. Not when it's to have anything to do with myself, though. It's really, really hard to do anything because I'm not worthy. Other people are worthy. I can take care of them. I'm not worthy, so forget me. Anyway, so yeah, so that's my point. My point is how other people see you and what they think of you actually, you know, once you're an adult and you've got your PD set and you're away from, or at least have some sort of distance from the people who abused you to make you avoidant in the first place, what people think of you really doesn't matter. I know that's crazy, and you're like, what? Because it matters so much on a personal, immediate level. But in reality, nobody is going to be able to affect your personality disorder. No therapists, no friends, no anybody. I read somewhere that people who have had abusive childhoods, if they're in a very good romantic relationship, which happens, avoidant people do get decent relationships. They're scarcer than hen's teeth, but they do get good relationships that are healthy every once in a while. Apparently that can help somebody not to sort of counteract depression that is a result of their childhood trauma. But that's depression, not their personality disorder. Nobody can affect it. You know, so if somebody is like, oh, that's not how I see you, that doesn't really matter. I mean, that might be really flattering to hear, but they're not going to be able to affect your, you know, and dictate to you, oh, you either have it or you don't. I mean, unless they're a doctor, but anybody else in the world, who cares, you know? And somebody might think of you as their best friend, and that doesn't mean that you have to reciprocate that feeling. And you can still see it as a very superficial and awkward relationship, even though it might seem like it's a really tight relationship. That's very possible. That happens. There's a lot of avoidant people that say they have no friends, but if they actually asked around, there are other people that consider them their friends. Okay. Doesn't really matter. Again, that can be flattering, but what other people think of you, it doesn't affect your personality disorder. It really doesn't, you know. And they can say arrogant things like I said, well, you can't have this because I like you. Well, it's just their ignorance. And they are totally separate things. Personality disorder is completely separate from personality traits. And like I said, that was kind of sort of like a revelation for me, because I just sort of, even though if I really tried to force myself, I couldn't really pin specific, you know, I couldn't really say which ones they were. If I had to label what I thought of my character flaws were, I couldn't really do it. I just knew they were there somewhere. They had to be there. They had to be there. I mean, they had to be. I couldn't really articulate what they were, but I think I was assuming that they're there because, again, if I have a personality disorder, well, that's the vernacular of what it is. I don't, if I really force myself to look at them, I'm not a compulsive liar, for instance. I'm not a selfish person. Those are character flaws. It's completely separate from avoidant personality disorder. So basically, don't buy the hype.